Greetings, good people, on this Thursday morning. Well, it's morning for me anyway. Mr. Kit Kat isn't around. He wasn't around when I got up, which is, I don't like that, but nevertheless, I hope he pitches up fairly soon. Yes, okay, let me begin. What should I begin with? Oh, okay. I think some dark Conte is called for. Actually, I'm going to do a little bit more of this over here with my charcoal. Goodness gracious. My eraser tool, so just to bring this grassiness a bit closer here. Bit of tea. Goodness, what am I looking for here? I'm just now working up these darker, deeper shadow areas, enhancing them somewhat. For just that little bit more contrast. And I'm using my black contact for that, just to bulk up on the black a little bit. Right, now some black line work to work around these track marks and define them a bit more as well. See, all of this is what takes the time, so this is why I didn't, even though it looks like it's nearing completion, it's quite a way off yet. work on the fence at the background here. It requires a little bit of brown of sorts. Right, and that will do for that for the moment. I think I actually need a sort of a, yeah, let's go with this, an orange. Some of these longer tufts of grass, I'm using my white contact to depict with. And now some of these dry spots contrasting against the wet splashes. Oh, there you are. Oh, yes. Where have you been? Here's Mr. Kit Kat. Finally pitched up. Where have you been? Tell everybody where you've been. Hey? Where you been? Hey? Oh, well, your breakfast's there. Off you go then. Yeah, you know, sometimes he loses track of time, I guess. Hey, Kit Kat. Oh, this knocking. Huh? Just like... Right, let's work with some white here. Did you have your breakfast there, Kit Kat? Hmm? What I'm going to be doing now is slowly weaving in, it's like, you must imagine a tapestry, so I'm weaving in some threads of colour throughout. And I have said on previous occasions how important it is not to forget the spectrum that the spectrum of color that makes up everything that we see visually. So that it's not to say that that every color isn't in everything. If you spin a color wheel, take a color wheel, all the primary colors and secondary colors, etc., in a wheel fashion, little segments, and you spin that wheel, it will go white. If you spin it fast enough, it will turn white. Isn't that interesting? So I need to just, even if it's just the faintest touch. I'm not going to start properly just yet, but I'm going to be introducing other colors. And right here I'm introducing almost a pinky brick color. And I'm going to be moving the spectrum around. I've got, predominantly at this point, I've got the yellows, the reds, into the browns and so on. Yes, I'm going to be using blue, at least the lilacs and what have you for the water. Because there's reflection of the sky above, etc., and that'll really pop this piece completely. You have no idea. But everywhere in between, I need to be introducing some of the greens and the blues as well, but very, very subtly. So much so that you will struggle to discern it unless you're up fairly close. You'll see me applying it, but then it's going to just fade into the background, you see. Right now I'm going to be doing just that, because very faintly, in fact I'm going to be doing it so faintly, and then I'm also going to be using my razor and also smudging it. So, but in I always find in shadow areas of shade, deep shade, there's always blue, purple, cool colors. And in areas of sun, be it direct or indirect light, there is the warmer colors, the reds, the yellows. Green is in between. Green is in between warm and cool. And of course I'm going to be introducing a little bit of, okay, let's do with that color there as well. So you might see this to begin with, maybe not. It's very, very, sure, I can barely discern it myself. So on video it's unlikely to be seen, but it will make a difference to the overall impact of this piece, because it adds depth. It's not like I'm doing something abstract here with this, because it's there and we just don't realize it. So therefore, because it's there and our senses recognize it always, because that's what we've become accustomed to making up our surroundings with visually. It's there, it's processed, it's recognized and then forgotten, because we're not paying attention anymore. We've forgotten how to pay attention. But it is there, so that when we do see something that it's been enhanced a little bit, it's okay, because we recognize it. Our subconscious minds recognize it. How about that for a theory? We're not, when we see a reflection, we're not seeing the sky, we're seeing the reflection. The sky is blue, the reflection is blue, but we don't actually, we go, okay, well that's a muddy puddle. It's brown because the mud's brown. And we don't actually realize that blue is reflected. And this is why, I speak about this when I'm working with water, especially with the sea, the ocean, how that reflections and reflection, the reflections and the God, I'll never get it right. Reflections and refractions. Yeah, I mustn't work and concentrate at the same time on that. Play a huge role, and they're there always unfolding all of the time, irrespectively. We just don't. It's just so much. It's just too much for our mind to process. Our being picks it up, of course. So it's there, but it's not important. So our mind goes next. Not relevant, not important right now. However, when I'm depicting this moment in time, this snapshot, I've got the time. I've got these 5 sessions to contemplate this, to really observe, and therefore depict what I'm really seeing. And even in this wet mud over here, there's a little bit of blue. Just the faintest of hints of blue. And it does make a difference. It just turns this piece from, I won't say something stayed, because it's fine. It's absolutely fine. But the thing is that it just turns that and brings more life to it, I think, anyway. And you'll see as it, if you were to watch this, able to watch this unfolding, quick time, you'd see what I mean. I remember at Tech College, and obviously, again, commercially learning to paint with acrylics. Again, not from a fine art perspective, from a commercial art perspective. And we would basically start and I've used this numerous times. I still have this thinking, because I can now visualize it. I can see into what I'm seeing. And we would start a piece. I can remember doing a tiger, the face over the head of a tiger, and there's light from the one side and obviously shadow on the other. Quite intense light from the left, and shadow on the right. So we started this whole image with just very bold, bright colors, in terms of on the left hand side where the light was coming from, bright yellows and greens and orange and very bright, and on the other side like blue and purple, and so we had this. It was still the shape of the tiger's head. And then after that, we then started to work over the next layers in terms of painting, almost with a dry brush technique. In other words, with little water. Acrylic is you mix it with water. It's a much quicker medium, and I guess it's preferable for commercial art purposes. But and it started. As you built the next layer upon next layer, you could see little flecks of the base colors behind coming through, and it just creates such depth. And yeah, I guess fine art, you would more than definitely learn that as well, but on a much more advanced level, which I never obviously attained. I'm just discovering this for myself as I go, so it's work in progress. So basically what I'm doing is teaching myself through observation. Where's that dark blue? Oh man, there we are. So I am consciously seeing, listening, listening to what my intuition tells me in terms of where color is needed, where light and shade is needed, and how it's needed. This already has transformed before my eyes because of that sort of subtle blue hue. It just takes the edge off the black, yet retains the consistency of the charcoal beneath it, and the Conte and whatever else I'm using. Interesting, isn't it? It's just, it doesn't, if I could show you this little section over here, there's yellow and orange and black and blue, but it works as a whole. It looks very jarring up close, and from a distance though, really starts to work. So I'm happy with that. this is why this is taking the time, like I said it would, because I need to work with these things, and I need to pay attention. I need to make sure that they are observed, because of the finished product that I wish to deliver. Again, it's interesting because the artwork, and this might sound strange, but the artwork asked for these other colors. I kind of had set out with the intention of, okay, this is a muddy farm track scene. So here's my palette from yellow to orange to red to brown and so on, and yes, a little bit of blue for the highlights, for the reflections. But as I've been working, as I progressed into yesterday, and I started to think, yes, this is asking for other colors as well. So this is why when I say sometimes in response to your messages, thank you, when you say you're excited to see how it's going to turn out, and I say, well, so am I. It's for this very reason, because it's evolving organically, coming together as it should, and that's why I need to give it the time to do so, the time to sit and simmer overnight, and then it will tell me what it needs. Sounds wacky, I know, but that's just the only way I can really explain it. And isn't it funny, because in the same way we try to manage our lives, make our lives happen the way we expect to, and not the way it is meant to or is asking to. So we are closed off to possibility in that respect. We're closing ourselves off to what is being communicated to us every day, messages that we receive, etc. And we don't just let go and go, well, okay, it will pan out, whatever it is. It relieves you from a great deal of stress. I mean, that's really what stress is just overexerting, overtaxing the mind with stuff that isn't, stuff that hasn't happened yet and might not happen unless we worry it into existence. And when we overtax ourselves, there's got to be a release. There's got to be a breakdown. It's just the laws of the universe, simply put. Goodness, what am I doing here? It just is that. However you look at it. And so I go, okay, why worry about stuff that I can't do anything about right now? When I can do something about it, yes, that's when I'll give off myself to it. But if I'm stress-free, then I can apply myself much more effectively to solving the challenge, which probably works out to have not been a problem in the first place. But we can very, very, very easily make it so. So once again, I have to give thanks for My Artsy Lockdown for bringing these considerations to light. It's really, I'm really learning a great deal through these processes. 5 minutes to go today. Yes, really learning a great deal. Believe it or not. I'm going to start adding a wee bit of touch of... No. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Yes, so as I've said, more colour to be added, and that can start creeping in tomorrow. A very interesting piece this has become, for me at least. Very, very interesting, because it has just consolidated for me the fact that if you look at something, picture a little scene, you're just looking at a little segment of this vast space of vistas that we see, and there's so much to be learned from it about how we observe and what's really going on, shapes that are formed, etc. How it happened. Anyway, yeah, it's good fun. It's certainly, I think, helping me to become a more proficient artist, allowing my work to speak rather than me making it happen because this is what I expect, and thus limiting myself, limiting my ability, limiting my focus and perspective. Right. So tomorrow we're going to work with some fun little detail illusions. Righto then. Rightio. That's it for today. Yes, very happy with the progress. Wow. Yes, that blue has made a huge difference. Can't wait for tomorrow. Okay, so thank you for joining, folks. Thank you for sharing. And do tune in again tomorrow, and see the see the finale unfold. Finally. Yeah, it should be fun. It should be fun. Got some exciting little bits to happen still. So yes, have a fantastic day further, and catch you guys again tomorrow, hopefully. So oodles and oodles of toodles. Bye, people. See you again soon. Take care. Take it easy. Be good. Bye. Don't forget to doodle.